Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We're looking at how adult content creators figure out how to price their stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's all about kind of like, the business side of this unique market, right?
Yeah.
And we've got this podcast script we're using as like our source material to unpack all this.
I'm really curious about this, because I always thought it was just kind of random.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like they just pick a number, but it's way more complex than that.
Definitely not that simple, no.
It's like, in a way, you could compare it to like other businesses,
Right.
even luxury brands. It's all about figuring out your, what they call the value proposition.
Value proposition. So like, what makes you you, basically? Why should somebody choose uh, you over somebody else?
Yeah, exactly. It's about what makes you stand out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like why someone would be willing to pay for your content
Right, right.
when there's so much out there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You sure?
So the source we've got, it breaks it down into four main things you got to think about.
Okay.
Content quality. Then there's like your niche market.
Right.
And then your experience and expertise. And of course, fan engagement.
Wow. That's a lot to consider.
It is.
Okay, so let's start with that first one.
Okay.
Content quality.
All right.
It seems pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like, the better the quality, the more you can charge.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, think about it, like a big budget movie versus something shot on your phone. you know?
Yeah, totally.
Huge difference.
Production value matters a lot.
For sure.
It shows that you're, putting effort in, investing in your work.
Right, and people are willing to pay for that.
Exactly.
So when we say production value,
Uh-huh.
what are we actually talking about here?
So think about professional lighting,
Okay.
good sound. Maybe you've got some fancy editing software.
Right.
Maybe even like collaborations with other creators.
Oh, so like the whole package?
Yeah. And, when people see that, they see you're serious.
They can tell it's not just some random thing you threw together.
Exactly. They understand that you've like put time and money into it, so it's worth more.
Makes sense.
So they're more likely to pay a higher price.
Okay, so that's content quality.
Right.
Now this niche market thing, that's where it gets kind of interesting for me.
Yeah, niche is super important.
So it's not just about like how good your content is overall.
No.
It's about who you're making it for specifically.
Exactly. Like, are you targeting people who are really into cosplay? Or maybe like vintage stuff, or I don't know, something super specific like ASMR.
Right, right.
You really got to know your audience and cater to their specific interests.
So like finding your tribe, basically.
Exactly. And some creators, they even use those, like market research tools.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, to see what's trending.
To see what people are into.
Yeah, exactly. And to find those like little pockets, the underserved niches
The gaps in the market.
where they can stand out.
That's smart.
It is.
So I guess if you're in a niche with less competition, you can charge more
Yeah, potentially.
because there's not as many options.
It's like supply and demand,
Well,
right? Economics 101.
Yeah. Fewer options, higher demand.
Exactly. So in those niches, you can often like command a premium price.
But if you're in a really crowded market,
Right.
you might need to get a little more creative with your pricing
For sure.
or offer something really unique to stand out.
Exactly. You got to find a way to differentiate yourself.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, experience and expertise. This one seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this one's a bit more intuitive.
If you've been doing this for a while, you've got a following, you're known for a particular style, you can charge more.
Makes sense?
It's like a celebrity chef, right?
Yeah,
They can charge a lot for their cooking classes.
totally. They've got the name recognition, the reputation,
Right, exactly.
It's all about building a brand.
Like if I'm new to a creator's work
Uh-huh.
and I see they've got tons of positive reviews,
Yeah,
a huge following, and a really recognizable style,
right.
I'm probably going to be more willing to pay a higher price
Absolutely.
because it shows they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a signal of quality and experience. you know?
Right, like they're a pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're paying for that expertise.
Okay, and then the last piece of the puzzle,
Yeah.
fan engagement.
This is a big one.
It's not just about the content itself. It's about like building that connection with your audience, right?
Yeah, creating a community.
So creators who do things like live chats or personalized content,
Mm-hmm.
respond to comments, maybe run contests,
All of that.
they're really fostering that sense of community
Exactly. And people are willing to pay for that.
because they feel seen, they feel heard.
Yeah, they're not just a number.
It's like they're getting like a VIP experience.
Right. It's more than just a content feed.
So Okay, you figured out all this stuff. You know what makes you unique.
Right.
You know what your audience values.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you actually decide on a price tag?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Do you just, look at what other people are doing?
Well, that's where the detective work comes in.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
You got to do your research.
Like competitor research?
Yeah, exactly. You got to see what's going on out there.
Okay, so, what kind of stuff are you looking at?
So you want to check out other creators in your niche.
Mm-hmm.
See what their pricing models are like, what kind of bundles they offer.
Bundles.
Yep.
Packages of content.
Yeah, exactly. And how often they have promotions or discounts
Right.
and, how their audience responds to all of that.
So it's not just copying their prices. It's more about understanding.
Yeah, it's about understanding the market.
Like what works, what doesn't.
Right. Deciphering the language of pricing in your little corner of the world.
That's a good way to put it.
And here's the thing. What's considered standard pricing in one niche could be totally different in another.
Wow, really? So you really have to do your homework.
Oh, absolutely.
Understand the nuances of your specific audience.
It's all about context.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
So you've done your research, you understand the competition.
Right.
How do you choose the right pricing model for you?
Well, the source mentions a few different approaches.
Oh, okay, like what?
There's subscription-based models,
Okay.
pay-per-view bundles, and those limited-time promotions.
Gotcha, so there are options.
Yeah, it's not one-size-fits-all.
Right, and I guess each one has its pros and cons,
Definitely.
depending on, what the creator's goals are and what their audience prefers.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right fit.
All right, well, let's break down those different models then.
Sounds good.
First up, subscriptions.
All right.
I feel like everyone's familiar with this one, thanks to Netflix, right?
Yeah, that's a good example.
You pay a monthly fee, and you get access to, a whole library of content.
Exactly. And in the world of adult content, that could be access to, a creator's entire back catalog of videos, photos, whatever.
Right, so it's all there for you.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll even give you, early access to new stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Or even exclusive content, stuff you can only get if you're a subscriber.
Nice. So that's a perk.
It is.
Then you've got pay-per-view, which is more like, I guess, buying a single song versus the whole album.
Yeah, a good analogy.
You only pay for what you want.
Exactly. So for adult content, this might be a creator offering access to a specific video.
Oh.
Or a photo set for a one-time fee.
So you don't have to commit to a whole subscription.
Nope, you just get what you want.
Gotcha. And what about bundles?
So bundles, think of it like those value meals at fast food places,
Oh, yeah, you get more for your money.
Exactly. So for creators, this could be bundling together a set of videos
Okay.
or photos that have a common theme.
Right.
Maybe they'll throw in some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Ooh.
Or even personalized interactions,
Give me an example.
So things like video calls with fans or maybe custom content requests.
Wow, that's pretty interactive.
It is, and it gives fans a chance to get more bang for their buck.
And then I guess limited time promotions are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, they're pretty common across all kinds of industries.
Like 50% off your first month or something.
Exactly. Or a special discount for a holiday.
It creates that sense of urgency.
For sure. People are more likely to jump on it if they think they might miss out.
Makes sense.
It's classic marketing, but it works.
So we've got our 4 main pricing models, but here's something that really stood out to me.
What's that?
The source really emphasizes that, pricing isn't just a one-time thing.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not.
You don't just set it and forget it.
Nope.
You got to be constantly testing and adjusting your approach.
Absolutely. It's all about being flexible.
Okay, so how do creators actually do that?
That's what we'll be getting into in the next part of our deep dive.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Stay tuned, folks.
We'll be right back.
Can't wait to dig into that.
Me neither. This is getting really interesting.
It is.
All right, see you soon. Okay, so we're back and ready to really get into the nuts and bolts of this whole pricing thing.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little more technical,
More data-driven.
Exactly. It's not just about vibes anymore.
You got to be a little bit of an analyst too, right?
Definitely. You got to track your numbers, see what's working, what's not.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Okay.
What kind of data should creators be paying attention to?
Well, one of the big ones is churn rate.
Churn rate. Okay.
That's how many subscribers you're losing each month.
Oh, right.
If that number's high, it could mean, your pricing's off.
Or maybe the content's not hitting the mark.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about getting new subscribers. It's about keeping the ones you have.
Makes sense.
Then there's engagement metrics, things like, views.
Oh, yeah, likes, comments, all that.
Shares too.
So basically how people are interacting with your content.
Exactly. That can tell you a lot about what's resonating with your audience.
So if you see like one particular type of content is getting a lot of engagement, you might think about like offering that as part of a premium bundle.
Good thinking. Or even like experimenting with a pay-per-view option for that specific content.
Well, that's smart.
Got to capitalize on what people love.
Right. And then you mentioned conversion rates earlier.
Oh, yeah, those are important too.
So that's like how many people actually sign up when you're running a promotion.
Exactly. Are people actually taking advantage of that discount or that limited time bundle?
If not, maybe you need to tweak something.
Yeah, either the offer itself
or how you're presenting it.
It's all about finding the right formula.
It seems like there's a lot to keep track of.
It can be a bit overwhelming.
Are there any tools that make this easier for creators?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the platforms designed specifically for adult content creators, they have like built-in analytics dashboards.
So you don't have to do it all manually?
Nope, it's all right there.
That's handy.
And then there are also like third-party tools that can help with data analysis.
Oh, cool. So you can really get into the weeds if you want to.
If you're a data nerd, it's a dream come true.
But okay, you've got all this data. How do you actually use it to make decisions about your pricing?
Well, you're looking for patterns, trying to spot areas where you can improve things.
Give me an example.
So let's say you notice that subscriptions dropped after you raised your prices.
Okay.
That might be a sign that you went a bit too high.
Makes sense.
Or maybe your churn rate is creeping up, but you're not sure why.
Right.
That's when you dig into the engagement data, see if there are any clues there.
So it's like you're a detective again.
I love that analogy, except instead of footprints, you're looking at like clicks and views.
And then you've got to interpret those clues.
Exactly. Figure out what they're telling you.
But data isn't the only thing, right?
Nope. Feedback from your audience is huge.
You mean like actually asking people what they think?
Yeah. Don't be shy about running polls, sending out surveys.
Or just paying attention to the comments you get.
Exactly. What are people saying about your pricing?
Do they feel like they're getting their money's worth?
Are they interested in different types of bundles?
That's good info to have.
It is.
But I bet some creators are hesitant to, like, talk about money directly.
It can feel awkward.
Yeah, especially in this context.
But if you frame it as a way to, like, improve their experience,
okay.
It can make a big difference.
So be transparent, basically.
Yeah, let them know that their feedback is valuable.
That it helps you create better content, better offers.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got your data, you've got your feedback, and you're ready to make some changes.
Time to put on your lab coat.
Any tips for actually putting those changes into action?
So think of it like A/B testing in marketing.
Okay, I've heard of that.
You make small changes, see what resonates best with your audience.
Like a little experiment.
Exactly. Maybe you try a new bundle or adjust the price of your most popular thing.
Right.
And then you track the data, see what happens.
So it's not about making big sweeping changes all at once.
Nope. It's about those little tweaks.
And seeing how they play out.
Exactly. It's an iterative process.
I like that word, iterative.
It sounds fancy.
It does.
But it basically just means, you try things, you learn, you adjust.
You're constantly evolving.
Exactly. And one of the most important things is to be open to, like, learning new stuff.
Oh.
What works today might not work tomorrow.
Right. So you got to be adaptable.
The market's always changing. The audience's preferences are changing.
It's a challenge.
It is, especially for creators who, are more focused on the creative side.
Yeah, like they have to develop a whole new skill set.
It's like running a business.
It is.
But the good news is there are tons of resources out there.
Oh, good.
To help creators, level up their business game.
Like what kind of stuff?
There are online courses, workshops, even communities.
So there's a support system.
Yeah, definitely. You don't have to figure it all out on your own.
That's good to know.
It is.
So it seems like success in this industry, it takes a lot,
It does.
It's not just about being creative. It's about understanding the business side, too.
You got to have both.
And be willing to learn and adapt.
Absolutely. And pricing is a huge part of that.
It's not just picking a number out of thin air.
Nope. It's a whole process.
You got to understand your value, research your competition, choose the right pricing model.
And then keep tweaking and refining it.
Based on the data and feedback you're getting.
It's a journey, but it's one that can lead to, a more sustainable career.
That's what we all want.
Exactly. It's about setting yourself up for success.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From like those big picture concepts
Hmm.
to the like nitty-gritty details of data and testing.
It's been a deep dive.
It has. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up? You know, what's really interesting to me, like thinking about all this,
Yeah,
it really changes how you see this whole industry.
I know, right?
It's easy to just think about the content itself,
Right.
but there's so much more going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, so much strategy.
Like a whole business side that we don't usually see.
It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate like the entrepreneurial side of these creators.
Absolutely.
They're not just artists,
No.
they're business owners, they're marketers.
It's analyzing data.
It's a lot.
It's a whole package.
And even as a consumer, like I find myself thinking differently about the stuff I subscribe to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm more aware of the work that goes into it, you know,
For sure.
all the decisions they have to make.
And all the effort.
It's not just like magic, it appears.
Right. There's a whole thought process behind it.
Let's sum it all up for our listeners.
Okay.
Pricing adult content, it's not a simple thing.
Not at all.
It's about understanding what you're worth,
Knowing your value.
doing your research on the competition,
Right. Got to see what everyone else is doing,
picking the right pricing model,
which can be tricky.
and then constantly adapting
Yeah. Always tweaking, always refining.
based on the data and feedback you're getting.
It's a never-ending process.
But it's a process that can lead to like real success.
Absolutely. A sustainable career.
That's the goal.
It is, for sure.
But what I think is most fascinating is how like this knowledge can change our perspective.
As consumers, you mean?
Yeah, like we're peeking behind the curtain now.
We see the wizardness.
We see how it all works.
And it's not always pretty.
No, but it's real.
It is.
So here's a thought I'll leave you with.
All right, hit me.
Now that we've like unpacked all this business stuff, how does that change your perception of, you know, the value that adult content creators offer?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's something to think about
Definitely.
as you continue to, you know, explore this world.
Keep learning, keep questioning.
Exactly.
And keep paying attention to those price tags.
They tell a story.
They do. They really do.
Well, huge thanks to our expert for joining us today.
My pleasure.
This was really eye-opening.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And to our listeners, as always, keep learning, keep questioning,